Hello, welcome to Live and Let Fly. So you've been shooting archery for a while now. You really like the sport, but you're running out of arrows. Maybe sometimes you hit the target, sometimes you don't. Maybe your arrows really like trees or concrete walls. If you've got one, some, most, or all of your arrows that look like these, I'll show you how to fix them.
This arrow here hit a foam target, but it also hit the metal frame that was behind the target. The tip is bent and the insert should be reinstalled. I'm going to show you how I do it. First, I grab a damaged tip, something I don't mind damaging when using a vise or vice grips or pliers. I use a butane torch because it's hotter and quicker than using a candle flame or a lighter. But hey, use what you're comfortable with. The original glue used in this insert would most likely be some kind of crazy glue or cyanoacrylate. High temperatures will break the bonds on these glues, but high temperatures will also break the bonds in the resin used to manufacture the carbon. I use a wet towel to keep the carbon cool while heating up the tip. The heat travels from the tip to the aluminum insert, and the towel keeps the carbon at a cool enough temperature to prevent melting down the resin. This prevents damage to the carbon. Here are some photos of what it looks like when the carbon gets too hot. This is what you don't want. If any of the carbon is ever damaged, you should cut it back to a safe spot upstream from the damaged area. This would obviously shorten the arrow, but you still may be able to use it depending on where the damage was and what your draw length is. Or you may do what I do. They'll get rebuilt into shorter arrows, and I gift them to my archery friends with arms that are shorter than mine. Long story short, don't get your shafts too hot. You're playing with fire. Safety first. Yes, I know. Yes, that's carpet. Yes, I have an extinguisher nearby. Extinguish all flames before proceeding. We're done playing with fire for now. Continuously wipe down the shaft with the wet cloth to keep it cool. I clamp the field tip in a vise, but vice grips or pliers also work. And I pull the shaft off of the insert. Rotating the shaft also helps, but remember to rotate clockwise so the insert and the field point stay together. If you did things right, your shaft should look normal. If your shaft looks deformed, it probably got damaged from the heat. The tip may look dirty or gunky. That's probably residual glue and bits of dust or carbon or whatever. It's nothing to be worried about. It can be cleaned off. Both new arrows and rebuilds will need to be cleaned up. I use acetone to dissolve all the grease and residual glue in prepping all of the components. You could use string or thread or a metal wire. I'm using a long twist tie today. I stack all the aluminum inserts on this twist tie for easier retrieval after they've soaked. Keep the acetone cap closed until you're ready to use. Drop them in and leave them for a few minutes, a few hours, or days if you forget. Whatever. The acetone won't hurt the aluminum. Make sure you use 100% pure acetone. Don't use cheap diluted dollar store stuff. You'll end up waiting forever for the glue to only slightly soften. You can find this stuff at any beauty salon or at any cosmetic section of your local grocery store. This is maximum strength because mathematically nothing beats 100%. And it will conveniently remove artificial nails, glitter nails, gel nails, and archery glue. It says so right here on the bottle. The shafts can be dropped right in to remove residual glue from the inside. If you have a nylon brush or pipe cleaners, it could also help after soaking for a few minutes. I like using a candle for this next part. Yeah, I'll still light the candle with a butane torch because I'm a weirdo. But I use a candle instead of a torch because I don't need as high a temperature when using hot melt glue sticks. I've also used 2-part epoxy in the past, and it has worked really well. But lately, I've been using hot melt glue sticks. I like the simplicity. I'm using pliers to hold the insert. Definitely don't use your fingers. I need the insert just hot enough to start melting the glue sticks. I want it completely coated, and I want it to stay somewhat liquid, but not so hot that it starts dripping off of the insert. If you use too much glue, it's also fine. The excess will end up getting scraped off. Once I'm happy with the amount of glue on the insert, I push the shaft over the insert while rotating the shaft clockwise to ensure the field tips don't unscrew. Once cooled, the excess glue can be simply ripped off with your fingers. This part is much easier than cleaning off excess 2-part epoxy. If you found this video useful, please consider liking the video by clicking below. If I've earned it, please consider subscribing. It helps a lot. If you have any questions, or if you have any requests for future videos, please leave a comment below. Go make some holes. Have a wonderful day.